Hey Canucks fans, it is Sunday. That means it's another edition of Ask Me Anything. I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter, I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club. And it's my Canucks take, all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Sunday, June the 28th. This is where you get Canucks insight that's positive and timely. It is such a beautiful day today outside that I wanted to record this vlog outside. So my transition glasses are going a little funky on me, but that's okay. As long as I can still read the questions and therefore I'm able to answer them, I think that's the biggest priority. Tonight, because it's Sunday, I invite you to join me at 10 p.m. for my weekly live stream on YouTube. Actually, I did a quick one on Friday right after the placeholder team won the NHL Draft Lottery, which I'll get to in a second. So I did a quick one on Friday, but really I do them only once a week and every Sunday night at 10 p.m. A way to not only wrap up the week that was, but to look ahead to the week that will be. So I invite you to join me tonight and I'll tweet out that link a little bit later today. But I have a bunch of questions, actually some really good questions, both from YouTube and from Twitter that I want to get to. A lot of them regarding the draft lottery that took place on Friday night, which I've vlogged about extensively already, and also some thoughts of the impact that's going to have on the Canucks going forward. So let's get right to it. Justin Hart says this: win the play-in series and lose our first round pick? Yikes. What did the NHL set themselves up for, and do they limit the play-in round to single elimination or 2 of 3? Well, I'll answer the second part first. The play-in round, the qualifying round, is a best of 5. So each team has to win a team has to win 3 games to advance to the playoffs. So qualifying round is a best of 5. Win the play-in series and lose our first round pick? Yes. It was. It's not what the NHL did to us, though. It's the condition on our trade for JT Miller. Basically, it was a condition with Tampa Bay, who now traded that condition to New Jersey in the Blake Coleman pick. So it's very simple. If the Canucks win their play-in series against Minnesota, they are deemed to have made the playoffs, and then our first round pick will go to New Jersey this season, but we don't have to worry. At least it won't be one of those, it won't be in line for a lottery to choose Alexis Lafreniere, because it won't be one of the bottom 8. So we won't be a placeholder team by virtue of winning our play-in round. But yes, we win our play-in round, our first round pick goes to New Jersey, and it'll be somewhere in the bottom half of the first round. If we lose our play-in series against Minnesota, then no matter what, we have to give our first round pick to New Jersey next season, no matter how well or how poorly we do. But then the added thing, I guess the added bonus this year, the added consolation prize, that's what I've been calling it, is that we have a 1 in 8 shot in landing Lafreniere. So it's very intriguing. It sets up for a very intriguing scenario. As I'll get to later, I still want the Canucks to win, and I'm not going to tell you you're wrong if you don't want them to win. I'm not here to judge your fandom, but for me, it's always win first, and I'll get to that in a second. So great question, Justin. That was from YouTube. Also from YouTube, Shy Jetty, favorite current Canuck, and what do you think will happen with Ferland? So 2 questions here. My favorite current Canuck is Bo Horvat. I've met him many times. My son Sean caddied for him 4 years ago at a Canucks charity golf tournament. I've met Horvat's dad, Tim, who recognized me actually in the Rogers Arena concourse. So that was a cool moment when he told me that he watched all my vlogs, which meant a lot. So Tim, if you're watching this, thank you, thank you, thank you. Not sure if you're still watching these, but I love Horvat. I think he's a great captain. I think he's a great leader and the nicest guy. I love guys like Pettersson, Hughes, Besser, the rest of our core 4 for sure. I like Markstrom, I like Troy Stecher, I like Jake Virtanen. But if I had to pick one, it is indeed our captain, Bo Horvat. What do I think about Micheal Ferland? I think he'll get every opportunity to play with the team. It sounds like that his health is getting better, further ahead than Josh Leivo. But I do get concerned because of concussion and the repercussions of and the recovery from concussions. You know, he tried to come back and that didn't go so well. The good thing is the Canucks are able to carry a lot of extra forwards, right? Not only do they have 4 extra forwards on their main roster, presuming Leivo and Ferland are healthy, you have Leivo, Ferland, McEwen, and Eriksson along with our top 12. So you have 16 forwards to choose from. And then we heard they called up another 3 more to be available as Black Aces. That being Sven Berchi, that being Tyler Grayback, and that being Justin Bailey. So the Canucks technically have 19 forwards to choose from once they get going. I guess the one thing you don't want to see happen is the game start, Micheal Ferland starting that game, then God forbid he gets hurt in the first 1, 2, 3 shifts, and then you're down to 11 forwards for an entire game. If it's game to game, you can adjust, right? You can bring a different forward because we have all those extra guys, but it's within a game. You don't want to see him get hurt if he starts a game, because if he's not going to be able to finish the game, it puts us severely shorthanded for that very important game. So to answer your question, I think he's going to get a shot to play and we'll get a chance to see if he's at full health. And we want to be at full health, right? We still have him under contract for another 3 seasons after this. Harshan Gill says this on YouTube. If Vancouver loses against the Minnesota Wild and get a chance at Lafreniere, but don't get the first overall pick, would they still be in the top 10? Okay, so there's a couple things here. Just because Vancouver loses to Minnesota, if they lose to Minnesota and then they get a 1 in 8 shot of getting Lafreniere, but let's say, as you said, Harshan, they don't get Lafreniere, are they in the top 10? And the answer right now is we don't know, because they're going to slot those 8 placeholder teams, 8 through 15 from the bottom, right? According to reverse order of their points percentage in the season. So the Canucks had a points percentage of .565, which is actually pretty good. It put them in the top 16 in the league. So let's say that all of the underdogs lose in the qualifying round, and the Canucks technically are the favorite because they're ranked number 7, Minnesota number 10. But let's say all the 9, 10, 11, 12 teams lose except for Vancouver. Vancouver loses as well. You can see very quickly that they will not be in the top 10 because they will be near the top of those teams that lose, right, as a higher seed and as a better points percentage. So Vancouver could easily be, number 12, 13, or 14 pick as opposed to the top 10. But if a lot of favorites lose with higher points percentage than the Canucks, and for some reason I haven't looked at every single team. I actually, even if all the favorites lose, I'm not sure that's enough to bump Vancouver, keep Vancouver in the top 10, because really to be in the top 10, Vancouver's got to be one of the 3 worst teams by points percentage. But naturally, they're a favorite, so that means they're in the top half of those 16 teams. So to answer your question, actually, Harshan, didn't do all the math, but I would find it very hard to see Vancouver finishing in the bottom 10 or the top 10 picks because of their higher points percentage. So I hope that makes sense. The main thing to know is once all 8 teams are eliminated, they will be ranked, they draw for the lottery, and then that team moves up to number 1, and then the rest of the spots, basically 9 through 15, I guess, because the top 7 bumped down to 8, right? 2 to 8. 9 through 15, those 7 teams will be ranked in reverse order of their points percentage, and I don't think Vancouver's gonna be one of those, bottom 2 or 3 teams. So I hope that makes sense, Harshan. If you're not sure what I meant, let me know, and I can explain it to you a little better than that. But basically, no, we don't know right now. It depends on who else loses along with Vancouver. Tim Hortons, double S, says this. What should Bo and Holly name their future little Horvat? Well, we know they're going to have a boy sometime next month. So Bo Jr. makes sense. They might name him after Tim, right? Sometimes you name after your father, the kid's grandfather. So maybe it's going to be Tim or Tim Jr. I think Clay is an excellent choice. I think Sean's an excellent choice. That's my middle name, so I'm Clayton Sean Emo. So my full name's Clayton. You guys probably figured that out. So Clay or Clayton would work. Sean would work. Or maybe you name him after a teammate, like a teammate that you like. Is it going to be Elias Horvat? Is it going to be Quinn Horvat? Is it going to be JT Horvat? Some of them sound better than others, so I think you go with anything. But I think Bo Jr. or Tim Jr. may be leading candidates, and I think Clay or Sean would be awesome picks as well. All right, let's pop over to Twitter now. Those 4 questions from YouTube. Let's go over to Twitter. Mike Higashi at Hiroki Dude says this: how did your cousin get into being a goalie, and is his son still playing? So many of you know my cousin Dusty Emo, played for Japan in the 1998 Olympics that they hosted as the host nation, which was pretty cool. He's now coaching in the KHL. He did a 4-year stint coaching in LA, did a 2-year stint coaching in Winnipeg, and before that was a star in Major Junior, and then didn't play on a pro team per se, played in the minor leagues, and then went on to play professionally in Japan after not getting drafted. And so still a very successful hockey career as a goaltender. So I actually reached out to Dusty directly to get the word straight from his mouth, and he says this: I was a skater, all the way until my 2nd year of Adam, 10 or 11 years old. I always wanted to play goal, but my dad wouldn't let me. My 1st year at Adam, I was on the Rep A team as a forward, so he's pretty good. Then the 2nd year, I begged to try out in net, and my parents finally gave in. And he made the same Rep A team his 1st year in net. So in his 1st year in Adam, he was a Rep A team as a forward. Then that 2nd year in Adam, he was on that same team, but as their starting goaltender. So it's a pretty cool story. Dusty is a smaller guy. He's a bit taller than me and a lot slimmer. Like he's probably about 5'7", 5'8", or maybe even 5'9". but then played at 170, 165, 170. So he's the fastest goalie I've ever seen, pro or junior notwithstanding. Fastest goalie I've ever seen. Worked his butt off, but unfortunately did not get drafted. But still went on to a very successful playing career and coaching career. And one funny story, when we used to play street hockey when we were little as first cousins, he'd come over to our house, and I guess he didn't want to play in net, right? He plays in net. He was playing in net all the time, so he basically made me strap on the pads, and he was literally 8 or 10 feet in front of me, taking slap shots, going from my nether regions, off my arm, off my neck, whatever. And I think he was taking years of frustration, taking it out on me, his poor younger cousin by 4 years in net, but still, happy to have a famous cousin, more or less, in the hockey industry, and it's really cool when I see the name Emo on the back of his jersey, whatever it may be. So yeah, thanks for asking. And Jonah, his son, so my first cousin once removed, is now retired from playing hockey. Also made it up to major junior, and then sorry, not just major junior, played for some farm teams, NHL farm teams as well. On Twitter as well, Tessa and at Testicle76, I always get a kick out of saying that name, but not too much, says okay, I don't even say the word, so it's T-A-N-K. I'm just gonna say it because she wrote it out. Said, are you team tank or team playoffs? What is the best for the long-term future? Well, everyone knows that I am not team T-A-N-K. I can barely say it. I'm always team playoffs, or team clayoffs, as people like to say. What is best for the long-term future? Honestly, Tessa, you could argue either way. For those that are team T-A-N-K, you could argue that the best for the long-term future is if we luck out, if we lose to Minnesota and luck out and win the lottery and get Alexis Lafreniere, that obviously is very good for our long-term future, right? To get a number one pick, one that we've never had. But that's no guarantee that long-term it's gonna be a big impact, a big, move the needle for the Vancouver Canucks. You'd like to think so, but you look at teams like Edmonton, who have had numerous number one picks, and they've only have one playoffs, series to show for it in the last few years. So in theory, it would make sense that the better for the long-term future would be more prospects, more better younger players, cost-controlled, all those things, right? I get that, and it's easy to say that if we actually win the lottery. But you look at teams like Edmonton that have even won the lottery and not performed so well, and then of course you look at teams that haven't won the lottery. On the flip side, I would argue that best for long-term future is getting the playoffs this season. Start to build that culture of expecting to be in the playoffs and doing well in the playoffs. I would love to see what Pettersson, Hughes, Besser, Horvat can do in the playoffs. I'd love to see the playoff experience of a Toffoli, of a Pearson, of even Jay Beagle come to light. I want to see how Jacob Markstrom can do. So imagine if the Canucks get past Minnesota, then anything can happen, right? Everyone's kind of starting from scratch. Yes, the standings from the regular season determine where teams start, but I think Vancouver really has as good a chance as anyone once they get going, especially if Markstrom gets hot. So like I said, I think playoff experience can also be best for the long-term future. So Tessa, I joked around on Twitter with you yesterday that this answer was going to take a long time, so there we go. But I think you can argue either way. And definitely I like the fact I want the Canucks to make the playoffs, to beat Minnesota. As I listen to that siren, I'm not sure how long they're going to go for. But I think they should make the playoffs. They should try and make the playoffs. And of course, I think that could be great for their long-term future. Going to get to that in my very last question too, because there's some of the question to end off. Justin, at JustinLye01 says this: of all the play-in teams, which team do you not want to see land Lafreniere? For me, it's Edmonton, Toronto, and Chicago in that order. Okay, so Justin, you choose Edmonton, Toronto, and Chicago. I broke down 2 categories. So some of the teams I don't want to get them to pick Lafreniere if they get the chance, or to win Lafreniere. It's the teams I don't like, and really there's only one team that's really in there, and that's Calgary. I can't stand Calgary. They're my least favorite team. I picked Boston, of course, but they're not one of the play-in teams. So Calgary for sure. Who they're playing, I just don't like them, and I don't want them to land Lafreniere. Teams that, it's not like I don't like them, but I don't think they need any help because of how good they are already or how young they are. I don't think Toronto, Edmonton, Philly, or Pittsburgh, any of those 4 teams, I don't want to see them win the draft lottery if they lose the play-in round, because I think of the chances they've had already or the players they have. And you can obviously go through this in your own head, or how good they are already. So Edmonton, Pittsburgh, Philly, and Toronto. And then you didn't ask this, Justin, but I will answer it. If the Vancouver doesn't win it, the one team that I wouldn't mind winning, even though they're in the Western Conference, is Winnipeg. Winnipeg is my second favorite team, so I wouldn't mind if they were the ones to land Lafreniere. All right, 2 more questions. Caleb McKay at Stuff Caleb Said asked me this. Are you disappointed that Vancouver won't be a hub city? I will honestly answer a bit. Not a lot. I'm not sad. I haven't been depressed for the past 4 days. Yeah, I was a little disappointed though. I recognize that even though I'm a season ticket member, it's not like I'd be going to games. It's not like I'd be hanging out with the players or coaching staff. But I do think it would be a small boost to the economy, provide some opportunity, put Vancouver even further on the map in terms of sports fans across North America. And I just think as a city, we've done so well with COVID, and we've done so well overall that with health protocol and procedure that I'd want to share that for the sake of the players. But for that very reason, I'm not disappointed if the true sticking point was indeed, as we've heard, what happens when there's a positive case with respect to the bubble and what happens next, pausing the series, pulling a team out, blah, blah, blah. I'm very grateful that Dr. Bonnie Henry was unwavering in her commitment to the health of British Columbians. So would I love to see it? Of course, but only if it made sense. And it sounds like it didn't make sense completely, so I'm completely fine with it. So am I disappointed? A tiny bit, but not enough to lose any sleep over it for sure. And lastly, Bure's Rollerblades at Bure's Blades says this: would you ever cheer for a Canucks loss to have a small chance at first overall pick? And my answer is absolutely no. Absolutely not. Absolutely never. I will never choose for the Canucks to lose, unless, especially 12.5, you say that's not bad, it's better than 10%, sure, but it's still only a 1 in 8 chance. And even if you win that chance, even if you win that lottery pick, like I said, there's no guarantee that he's going to turn the franchise around, although he's going to be a very good player for sure. But it's only a 1 in 8 chance. I'd rather see the Canucks win. I'd rather see the players get some confidence, some playoff experience, get some hunger, and maybe surprise a few teams in the actual playoffs. There we go. Canucks fans, those are awesome. Those are 8 or 9 questions from both YouTube and Twitter. I'm almost pushing the 18-minute mark here, so I will wrap it up. Leave a comment below. There's no really question of the day because I just answered 9 or 10 of yours. But if you, a reaction to anything I said, I would love to hear it in the comment section below. And I would love to see you tonight at 10 p.m. for my weekly live stream on YouTube. We can talk about Canucks, Draft Lottery, Return to Play, Phase 2, Phase 3, COVID, how good looking I am, whatever you want to talk about, we will do that tonight at 10 p.m. on YouTube. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Have a great day. God bless. Enjoy the sun. Go Canucks, go.